Kellen Moore coming in as offensive coordinator as well. I think Kellen Moore is kind of a polarizing figure, in the NFL also. Depending on who you ask, he's either great or, he's average. And I personally think Kellen Moore is one of the good to great offensive coordinators in this league. We know that Kellen Moore was the Cowboys Cowboys quarterback coach in 2018, Cowboys OC from 2019, 20, 21, and 22. The Chargers brought in Kellen Moore for 1 year. They parted ways with him, and now he is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles as well. Has it actually been official that they brought in Kellen Moore? Because I think it's just, reports that he's coming in. Eagles hire Kellen. Why Cowboys X is here and what it means. Okay, no, so they brought it in. See, they see Eagles 2 hire. No, they brought him in, though. Eagles expected to hire Kellen Moore as their new offensive coordinator. See, even the Philadelphia Inquirer. Sure, why not? I don't feel like it's a sure why not situation. Kellen Moore is a very young mind, 35 years old. We know that he was a former player in the league, might not have been a, formidable good player in the league. But you go look at those Cowboys offenses from 2019 to 2022. The year before, in 2018, they were 22nd in points and 22nd in yards. The year after in 2019, of course, because that was under Jason Garrett, he comes in, gets them to the first overall offense in yards and the sixth best offense in points. Of course, Mike McCarthy comes in. Kellen Moore is still there, so it falls back to 17th in points, 14th in yards. Then in 2021, Mike McCarthy's second year, first in points, first in yards. Kellen Moore again in his final year with the Cowboys coordinator, fourth in points, 11th in yards. And then after Kellen Moore's tenure in 2023, after Kellen Moore goes to the Chargers, the Cowboys actually get better and go to first in points and fifth in yards. So Kellen Moore engineered, on average, a top 10 to maybe even 8 offense, points per game, and yards per game when he was with the Cowboys. Had them finish first in yards twice under his offensive coordinating tenure, and first in points once, fourth in points, sixth in points. Very impressive. And to know that the Eagles were not very good when it mattered offensively. You even go look at the Chargers. The Chargers in 2022, before Kellen Moore got there, they were 15th in points, 9th in yards. Now you're dealing with Brandon Staley, and of course they fired Brandon Staley, so there's going to give Kellen Moore a little bit of a difficult time. And also the fact that Justin Herbert wasn't healthy and didn't finish the year. He had to deal with Easton Stick, so they did go from 13th to 21st from last year to this year in terms of points, and from 9th to 18th from last year to this year in terms of yards. But when you go look at the Philadelphia Eagles, who last year were third in points and third in yards with Shane Steichen, and then they come around this year to go to 7th in points and 8th in yards. And again, the stats support Brian Johnson in a way. But then when you look at, I can't remember what game it was. He had like a 1st and 20 quarterback power, a halfback draw. You're throwing a screen pass to Kenneth Gainwell. Like, what's happening? What's going on? But yes, the offense did get slightly worse under what's it called? The offense did get, slightly worse under Brian Johnson, but we saw that Brian Johnson was not going to be the guy. First year offensive coordinator, and he had to get out of there. We saw this year, after them being 8th in points and 2nd in yards last year with Jonathan Gannon, they fell to 30th in points and 26th in yards with Sean Desai. And excuse me for not being able to remember a couple of other coordinators' names. I didn't pull their names into here. But y'all don't roast me in the comments. Y'all swear I don't know anything when I don't y'all swear I don't know anything when I don't know people's names. But I got a whole ass show about the NFL. That's none of my business. I mean, it really is my business, but y'all know what I mean. So I think these are good hires. I really do. I think Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, a couple of guys that have showed that they're proven, some veterans in this league, especially Vic Fangio. We could expect that Eagles defense to get back to being one of the top units next year. I really, really think we could. Vic Fangio did it for Miami. I think he's going to do a great job with it in Philadelphia as well. And I think anything right now feels like it's going to be an upgrade for Brian Johnson. I believe Kellen Moore will be able to come in with a, Vontae Smith, an A.J. Brown, a DeAndre Swift, a Jalen Hurts. Now, unfortunately, they are losing Jason Kelce. I forget about that until this point. They do lose Jason Kelce, but I still think these are great hires for them. I do. I think they are great hires to be able to turn them around from a point where they felt lost after losing both of their coordinators last year. Both of those guys go on to be head coaches. And I don't think that they'll have to worry about a one and done with these guys.